Hi, I'm Phil, and I have a problem with screens. Much better than I used to be. And this week I'm going to share with you how I got there. I still have a problem with screens, mostly how they affect my family, my patients, and the families that I care for in my office. I put together some resources for you to start the summer off in control of your family screens. I put together this toolkit that you can download on the link below that will help you to get control over your screens. It's super quick. It's a free PDF that you can download on your phone. You can print it off, put it on your fridge, and have a plan for your summer with screens and how they're going to play a role in your life. I promise that this handout doesn't just say go screen free. Just, no more screens. Screens are gone. That would be like me saying to you, or that would be like you saying to me, just go run an Ironman. Let's maybe start with a brisk walk around the block first, okay? I'm not ready for an Ironman. I'm not ready to go totally screen free. I don't want to set you up to fail by giving you some crazy unattainable goal and making you feel guilty for not reaching it. I want to give you something that you can actually implement and see the results of without going crazy, without feeling like you have no other way to handle your children other than to give them screens. I'm a pediatrician, I'm a husband, I'm a father of 4, and we have screens. Oh boy, do we have screens. I'm sitting in my office right now, and I can count 4 or 5 screens right on my desk in front of me. I've taken steps at work to make that better. If you've come to see me in the past few months in the office, you've no doubt met my scribe Grant, who gives me the ability to focus on my patients rather than on my computer screen. His birthday was actually last week, so if you're watching this, please comment below, write happy birthday to Grant so that he can see that. He's actually helping me do all these Facebook Lives. Anyways, I've talked with so many parents who are sick of the way that they and their kids are ruled by their screens. There is this monster to brat cycle that goes on with screens. We try and say to our kids, no screens, go outside. Kids turn into monsters. They're not allowed on their screens. They whine, they cry, they scream, and so what do? We give them their screens, which then leads them to be moody little brats. And it's a vicious cycle. We say, get off your screens, and then they turn into brats. So we give them their screens, and then they turn into bigger brats, and then it just goes back and forth, and it never ends. And I want to show you this week how to end that cycle and how to have a proactive approach as a family to get things under control with our screens. So like I said, this week we're going to be going live over Facebook over lunchtime. The exact time varies a little bit because of my patient schedule and the fact that I didn't plan this so far in advance that I could move patients around or block my appointments. Try and tune in over lunchtime if you can. If you can't make it, you can watch it after the fact. You can even still comment after the fact, even if we're not live anymore, and other people will get to see that. So please take the time to watch these videos. Like I said, I made this workbook to go through individually and as a couple, and then as a family decide on a game plan so that everyone's on the same page for screens. Mom, dad, teens, younger kids, there's pages on the workbook for each member of the family. You can find it at the link below. You can sign up, print it off, and get control. I want to walk you through it for just a minute so that you know what to expect in the coming days. So if you go ahead and you open your PDF, and you can open it on your phone, or you can open it on your computer and print it off, you'll see that there's several pages. I've organized it for each member of the family to go through so when I say, put it on your fridge, I mean you're going to have to clear the whole dang thing off if you want to fit all these pages on there. But what I put at the end is an overarching summary of what we're going to talk about and go through. So maybe that can go on the fridge, and the rest of the pledges, once they've been signed, can go in a folder or drawer or somewhere else. You can refer back to them when you're going to review how things are going. There's a page for mom, there's a page for dad, there's a page for teens, there's one for children, and an overall plan. And I put a couple of blank pages in there too, so that if you have a different plan, or you want to make your own, or let your kids write their own, you can do that as well. So take a minute, print that off, and look through it tonight. Okay, here's the thing about screens. I think screens are totally fine. I'm not going to tell you no more screens, get off your screens for good. I have no problem with screens. I don't think that going screen free is realistic for most families. Screens also have so much to offer. There's so many educational games and shows and worthwhile lessons for families that I don't think that we need to say no screens. Instead, we just have to be intentional about how we use our screens. In our family, we've gone through peaks and valleys with tablets and shows and games and so on. We finally got to the point where we were arguing with the kids about tablet time. They were fighting and they were whining, and when they weren't charged, oh man, that was like Meltdown City, and it just drove us crazy that the tablet wasn't charged, so then we're having a huge battle over that and so much whining. So what we decided to do was just put all the tablets on the shelf, let the batteries die, let the tablets get some dust on them, and that alone was transformational. Now we do still pull out the tablets from time to time, especially if we're going on a road trip, but the rest of the time we're tablet free. The whining stopped, they started finding things to do on their own. If they couldn't find something to do, we would give them work to do. They started playing together better. They weren't getting cross with us because their tablet wasn't charged. And they overall were just happier, more easygoing, not as moody, not as big of monsters, not as big of brats. Sometimes, but not all the time. We still have screens in our house. We don't pretend that we are screen free. In fact, sometimes we use screens to get stuff done. If we're making dinner and our children can't help us with it, if we want to have a conversation, if the kids have come in from inside and want to cool down, or if they need a break, if we need a break, we use screens, and we don't feel guilty about that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying, child, I've given you attention, I've given you interaction, and now I need a break. I need to return an email. I need to have you watch a show while I get something done. I also don't think that limiting all children to 2 hours per day is very realistic. Many of our school-aged kids get 2 hours of screen time while they're at school, and then they need to use screens to do their homework. Saying you can only have 2 hours of screen time a day is just totally unrealistic. The old 2-hour recommendation also doesn't take into account the variety of media that we have to consume. There's a difference between plopping down a 3-year-old to watch SpongeBob and giving him an interactive game like Monkey Preschool Lunchbox, or watching an episode of Daniel Tiger and carrying on a conversation with your child as you watch it together. There's a big difference between those two types of media use. I'll talk about it more on Thursday for how to handle screens with younger children, but I think of media types like the food pyramid, or now the way it's a food plate. I think a variety of media types is most healthy. Even a small sprinkling of SpongeBob type shows, which I'd consider like chocolate cake or cookies or something to use sparingly, even those types of shows are okay from time to time. What I would love for you to do is leave a comment or click the surprise face reaction below if you've ever felt guilty about your family's screen use. I sure have felt guilty about it, and I still feel guilty about it from time to time. I don't want you to feel guilty about screens. Screens are here to stay. Screens are okay. We just have to find a balance. We need to find a way to not just coexist with screens, but to use them to their best while maintaining balance. And I think that we can do that. It's not going to happen without some thought and some work and some intentionality on all of our parts, though. My hope is that you'll listen or watch me here for a bit, download the workbook, sit down as parents, take a look at what I've created for you, and take time to decide what's right for your family. If you've liked this video, please like it. Please subscribe to my Facebook page. Please share this video with somebody else that you think could use it. I'll be doing more Facebook Lives every weekday this week, and you can find it at facebook.com/Dr. Phil Boucher, and there I'll post more articles and resources on screens and parenting tips, and it's a place for us to engage and interact. So please take the time, follow the link, download the workbook, and please keep up the good work, and I'll see you tomorrow.